Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is City Skylines Early Access Preview, Episode 3. So, in our last episode, I introduced you to the wonderment that was districts and the awesomeness potential. We will revisit that once our population grows enough to start playing with the tax levers. But for now, we are going to turn our attention to utilities, because our industries are getting a little thirsty for power. Now, besides waiting for these things to show up, how do you know how your different utilities are? Once again, we go to these wonderful info views. So electricity, look at that. Electricity availability, we are in the yellow. We are consuming 41 megawatts. We're only producing 40. So we're going to need to do something about that. Because, yeah, we're going to start having brownouts and then soon blackouts. Let's take a look at our water. Our water and our sewage are both very much available. So we've got plenty of capacity. We are only using 56K. We have 120. So we don't need to worry about them for a while. Alright then. So let's ponder our power options. Now, before we started ourselves off with a coal power plant, and you know what? It would be a perfectly viable tactic to just drop another one of those. But we also have, at least to start with, a wind turbine. Now, how effective is the wind turbine? Well, that depends where you put it. If you look out here, as soon as you take the wind turbine, it switches us over to a new view. It switches us to the wind view. And we can see on here that not all locations are created equal. These darker areas are going to make it produce the absolute maximum, 8 megawatts. Whereas if we put it over here, well, that's out of the city limits here, 4 megawatts in the less darker area, 4 megawatts, I think there's a few, yeah, 3 megawatts. So you need to be mindful of where you place them. The other thing is, while yes, they don't physically pollute, they're not gonna be belching out smoke the way the coal power plant does. They make a lot of noise pollution. So putting them in the middle of your residential districts is still not exactly advised, though it's not going to drive them away the way a coal power plant would. So that being said, we also need to weigh the economics of it. Do we want to you know, is the upkeep, so the upkeep is 80 a week, you are 560 a week, but you make 40. So let's see here, if we made, so 5 of these, so 5 of these would actually be a bit cheaper, if they were all making the maximum output. That's a big if. That might not work out in our best interest. But you know what? I think we got this nice big patch up here. Let's set up a wind farm. Yeah, we don't want 7. We want 7. There's 8. I guess there's little patches of. I'm wondering why it's. 777. Although this is going to hinder our expansion, but so you know what? Actually, let's just go with the coal plant. Let's keep things easy. There'll be another option we'll get coming pretty soon here, the advanced wind turbine, which actually allows you to build it in the middle of the water, so that you can actually make use of the river space here that you otherwise wouldn't be using. So that can be useful in that regard. And yeah, we also have those energy meters, which is going to cut down on people's usage. Now, that being said, there's another thing we can do here. So we're making 80, we're using 41, but right now we're making way more than we need, and that's just going to waste. So one of the things you can do here is go up to the budget panel and adjust the budgets to all of your things individually. So let's, if we, now granted, it does not make, it's not a linear decline. If you drop it down by 20% here, it's not going to only knock off 20% of the effect. So you need to be mindful of that. It's kind of a sort of a diminishing returns on that. You know, it's only, you know, trimming it is fine, but slashing it, not recommended. So now that we've trimmed it, our budget, see, yeah, we're down here to 51 megawatts. Not anywhere near as powerful, but you know what? Still enough for what we need. And once it starts yelling at us about that, all we now need to do is just increase our budget a little bit, and we'll be fine. All right, we have our police station. Oh, I think we need a high school. Yes. Yes, we do need a high school. Let's see how our traffic situation is doing. Now that our city has developed a little bit more, we can take a look at the crisscross roads build here and see how this is serving us. I'm not seeing any jams, but let's go to the intro view. Okay, so the red spots are where there's slowdowns, but just because there's a red spot does not mean necessarily that that road is just doomed. Because if you look at the traffic flowing here, yeah, they pause at the intersection. They might have to wait for a few seconds, and there's a lot of cars on these roads, but they're not backed up. They're not waiting there for hours and hours and hours, just sitting there for trying to squeeze into wherever they're going. So yeah, these cars are doing what they got to do, and people are getting out of the city just fine too. And yeah, we got plenty of people flowing over here. Ah, I think I see another problem here. This is one way, this is not, and that might be what's compounding some of the problems. This is one way, right? No, it's two-way. I stand corrected. Yeah, it's two-way. Never mind. And it's probably better that way anyway. That way people can get in and off on there without creating too much of a backlog in the on the main roads here. Because these two base ones are the ones that are one way. This one's going down. This one's going up. Yeah, there's a lot of customization you can do with this, with one-way streets, and I can see them being very crucial to long-term strategy for a city. All right, money is actually not going up as quickly as we would like, so we're gonna need a zone for more stuff, and it looks like people want more residentials. They filled up our little poor district over here, so let's expand, shall we? We shall. Make sure we have these two going parallel, because that way it gives us access to both ends of this crisscross. All right. And that's better. Get you going here. Get you. I think I'm going to put an end to this industrial zone here, because I'm going to want to focus more on more industry-specific stuff. So let me... Actually, hang on. What's your radius of disgustingness? I think it's like out to here-ish. So we'll do one more. We'll do one more line of just generic industry. Yeah, no, not all the way down there. We're just gonna do, actually in here, we're gonna do the square tool. Oops, no, we didn't want the commercial zone there. We wanted industrial. Sorry, dudes. Yeah, that's better. We want the commercial down here. Fill. And of course we're going to want to fill up with the residentials over here. Let's check our water. Plenty there. There we go. down we go. And almost forgot our connector road up here, just to keep another path flowing here along the coast. Yeah, by getting more zoned land, obviously you get more... How about a park or two? All right, well, I know I'm trying to make money and not spend it, but you know what? Here, we'll give the rich district here another go with the park here. Since their park's effectiveness is increased by that local ordinance. Oh, and we got a fire already. But hey, our fire department is on the job. They know what's going on. And just to confirm, these are parked. Yes, they're parked. Sometimes you see a big line of parked cars. You're like, oh crap, giant backup of doom. It's like, no, they're just parked. Oh, and we are now a boom town. 2,600 people. We now have transportation options, the ore industry specialization, a couple more ordinances, and some new roads, including the ability to build highways, a bus depot, and a new thing to worry about, the dead. The dead shall, well, no, the dead won't walk, but the dead shall need a place to be buried. It is actually something you need to keep a handle on. You need to keep in mind what you're doing with your city's dead. And sometimes cemeteries get full, and it works, and this is a really horrible way to put it. It works kind of like the garbage system, in that you as people die over time, they need somewhere to go. The graveyards are your temporary solution, and then your crematoriums are your permanent ones. Why they decided to go that route is beyond me, but yeah. So here, just as we were seeing some farms get placed in here, and yeah, this little hill right here is kind of messing with the look of them. We're getting some forests here. So this stuff is going to be what's producing our timber resources, which is going to then be consumed by the rest of the area. And now look at this. Look at if we look at our resource map here, the timber resources are appearing on the land that is more green for, you know, natural timber stuff. Whereas the areas that I built down here that weren't really that good for timber, they're just doing agricultural processing. Or timber processing. So the game, you can still build on this area, you know, even if you don't have the specific resource. And we're gonna have to goose our budget. Let's send you back up to 100%. And yes, you can over budget your power plants to get more juice out of them. But again, diminishing returns in the other direction. At some point, kicking enough budget to it, it'd be more cost effective just to eat the one-time fee and build a new plant. But you know, sometimes, you know, when you need it, you have the ability to sort of tweak your output. Speaking of output, how are we doing here? Landfill, 19%, and 9 out of the 15 garbage trucks are in use, so we're fine with that one landfill. Eventually it will fill up. Alright, we need more residences here. Enough dillying and dallying. Alright, now since we have this over here, we're going to do a little bit more unique of a spacing. Oops. There we go. Now I'm going to use this to show off a couple other things. So we're gonna make the transition. We're gonna make residential zones up here and residential zones down here while we're at it. Now we got polluting industries right over here. What are we gonna do about that? Well, if we go over here to props, we do a couple things. Well, one, let's show you some pedestrian paths. So let's say the residences of this area work over here. why don't we give a way for them to walk there? So now we have just linked up the sidewalks along this little path. No cars or vehicles can go along that path, but if someone wanted to, they could walk along that path, and if they happen to work over here, that'd be a real easy way for them to get to work without having to burden our traffic system. And it's just nice and cheap anyway. But now we still have some other things to worry about. Pollution, noise pollution, just lots of stuff to worry about. That's where these trees come into play. Oak tree. Alright, let's get some oak tree. And notice how it sort of gives you a random tree. So when you're planting here, it doesn't look like, you know, this vast sea of all the exact same tree. It varies it a little bit here. So now, if we look at our infograph, look at that. It's kind of making a little bit of a wall to both the physical pollution and the noise pollution. Yeah, noise pollution's bleeding through a little bit, but it serves as a means to temper it, to prevent it from just completely driving them away. I mean, you get more noise pollution just from the roads here, to be honest. So now these roads up here, these residences rather, they're not going to be, you know, nightmarishly polluted and sick and, you know, in that bad of a shape, because we've got a little extra padding that back there for them. And let's make ourselves a little bit more. Oh yeah, so here's this big other patch right here. We'll use up some of it by making that. Zone that as residential. But we still have this thing right here. Are we going to leave it empty? No. But are we going to need a whole huge road for that? No. Why don't we do a 2-lane gravel road? So with this, we can just do a little offshoot over here. It behaves just like any of the other roads here, making little zonelets of its own, and we can make houses right here. So now people can start moving into the center of this. You know, since the only people that are going to use this road are just these people, the fact that it's this little tiny rinky-dink gravel road not only means that it's not going to get overclogged with population, but it's also going to cut down on the traffic noise, because there's not going to be much traffic and it's not going to go that fast. So, you know, the fact that it's in the middle of a residential zone is not going to bother people about it. So there we go on that. How are we doing here? We are hurting for workers. Yeah, it's an abandoned building because there weren't enough workers. Because I was taking a while to build up my residentials here. All right, so let's keep making more and more of them residences. Got on the first try. It was the first time, every time. 50% of the time. Yes, I'm probably butchering that quote. That's okay. Get ourselves a few more zones over here. And more residentials, and commercial. Let's check our water. Water's actually mostly good, except for that little blip up there. Now, there's other things that we need to consider. We still haven't built ourselves that high school, so let's get ourselves that high school. This will, yeah, you can see the roads it will affect. If we push it here, it won't reach the poor district. In fact, we don't want it to reach the poor district. We need ditch diggers. So we're going to keep the high school over here. Boom. We got some education for peoples. Oh, and actually maybe it does reach them slightly. But the other thing we're going to be needing is another elementary school, because these things only have so much in the way of capacity. Where's our original one? Is that it? Nope, that's our firehouse, police station, Laurel residence. Strawberry Residence. Where's our medical clinic? I know it was... I know it's around here somewhere. Info views. Garbage, citizen happiness, levels. There's gotta be crimes. Nation, districts. Bear with me just a moment. Education, here we go. Education. So that's our firehouse, police station. No, that didn't give me what I wanted. Yeah, but anyway, we can look on here, just like with the power, we can see what our capacity is, and we can see what's available. So we only have one elementary school that can only hold 300 people, and there's 400 children that need to go to school. So 100 kids are not getting any kind of education. High school, we have no capacity yet. It hasn't recognized it yet, but we should. There we go. So we got 1,000 capacity, which is almost immediately filled, and no university here. That's for the highly educated tier, but that's not going to come for a while. Now, what's the whole use of this education? Well, one, it helps level up your residences. The more educated, so here, educate more citizens to allow the building to be upgraded. The other thing that makes these upgrades happen is just having the residents be happy, having them be able to get to places they need to, have things like parks and whatnot, have them free of pollution and crime and that sort of thing. So all of that is definitely going to be required. Now look over here. Here's an interesting part here. So if we look at the levels, the darker the shade, the lower the level. So drugstore is, well, that's under upgrade underway. This one's going to be upgrading pretty soon. So this store, this neighborhood shop, which is only level 1 at the moment, will employ a total of 6 workers, all of them undereducated. They just need a couple of dumb clerks, that's it. And one guy's already employed there, overeducated. He doesn't need to be educated, but he is. But now we look over here at M&H Clothing, level 2. They are not only employing more workers, but they need more educated workers. They want 7 educated workers. They only have 3 right now. They want 3 well-educated workers. They got nobody, and generally it is no education, uneducated. Elementary school education only, educated. High school, elementary plus high school means well-educated. Elementary, high school, college means highly educated. So as your city grows, your levels of demand for different levels of education among your workers are going to change. And as your buildings level up, they're going to be wanting more and more and more. So in here, a lot of these places only have one level of development here, and they're all uneducated. So you can see that as either a downside or a benefit by having all of these specialized industry be primarily uneducated. You keep the lower class employed, but you also have the need for more lower class citizens and also potentially overeducated citizens. Whereas the generic industries can actually be upgraded, can actually have these different upgrades to them. I don't think any of them has upgraded yet. No, they're working on it, as you can see. So for industries here, yeah, more educated citizens, but also making deliveries successfully, and just generally, keeping things good for the industry will help them develop. So that is the levels, and like I said, this whole levels overview can give you an idea of what levels your city is. You generally want higher levels, because higher levels are more sophisticated and, more importantly, pay you more in taxes. All right, so let's kick up our speed here. Wait for our new district here to fill up here. All right, so we got more commercial zones getting demanded. Oh yeah, let me update our zonings here. Gonna include our new developments. And you know what? We're gonna sweep this zone. Oh wait, no, we don't want a new zone. We're gonna sweep this zone up over here. Oops. So that the new residents up here get encapsulated there, and we'll include the commercial zones. So the Pleasant District is now expanding, getting a sort of a gerrymandering feel here, and then we'll just expand the Foggy District to cover the last little bit of disgustingness. Ah, bus services. So, oh yeah, all those ding, 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 ding you keep hearing, those are buildings upgrading. They upgrade automatically. Ooh, alright, we got, what do we have here? Abandoned. Why are you abandoned? Not enough workers. Well, that will be fixed soon. Yeah, if you just mouse over that, and it'll tell you, the building that gets abandoned will tell you why it's abandoned. Alright, looks like our specialized industries are developing and flourishing even. So that is awesome. A bit at the expense of the generics, but that's fine. Okay, so let me just take one more gander at my traffic map. Alright, now see, things are starting to heat up a little bit. This main stretch right here, starting to get a little bit more trafficy. So how we're going to deal with that? Well, you know what? We'll do that in our next episode. So yes, in the next episode we're going to be looking at mass transit and seeing if that can solve our burgeoning traffic problem and nip it in the bud even. So if you like this episode and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar, signing out. See ya.